Good evening, everybody. Good
Ooh.
evening. What's up, dude?
What's up? That was nice. I like that.
Yeah, nice, simple, quick, and easy, right? We couldn't figure the other one
Yeah.
out right now. So until then, we'll have to make do.
Yeah, but
We'll
that was
have to
great.
make do. Yeah.
Oh,
But hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. It is Monday, December 1st, 2025. And we're bringing you Monday night recap of the NFL, but also, too, man, there's just so much happening right now in the sports world. There's a lot going on with college right now
yeah.
too. So you got the playoffs coming up, and so we just have to make sure that we try to touch base with every single hot topic that's on the board right now. So I think that's where we're going to kind of probably kick it off, and that's I want to kind of throw you. We hadn't talked about this pre-show or anything like that, but let's talk about Texas. Right, Texas Longhorns facing up against the Aggies this past weekend, and the Longhorns pull out the win. And so I don't know if you saw, but there was a big case that Steve Sarkisian made about Texas being in the playoffs and whether or not they deserve to be. And he had an interesting choice of words to say when he was speaking about, the playoff committee who picks the playoff teams and also with scheduling, things of that nature. Did you have a chance to kind of pick up on any of that?
No, not really. But like to my knowledge, all I've known is that the Longhorns really haven't been doing that well this year. So for them to beat the Aggies was kind of big. So for me to hear that they're in playoff indications, I'm kind of surprised because it didn't sound like at all that they're going to be in the playoffs this year.
Well, you have to remember they started off ranked number one overall going into this year. The NCAA ranked them as number one. And so, was it a rough start? Yes. Okay. It was a rough start because obviously the first week we go against Ohio State. We go visit them in their home stadium and we end up losing that game. Now we only lost by one score. So it was a defensive matchup for sure. Both defenses were playing lights out. Neither one of the offenses could get anything going. And Ohio State ends up pulling out that win. Okay. But then from there, Texas went on a little bit of a run. They did wind up losing three games throughout the whole season. So they lost to Ohio State, they lost to Georgia, and then the one that's going to hurt them the most is that they lost to Florida. Now, granted, Florida has a horrible record right now. They did not do good, but they also fired their coach mid-season. Okay, when Texas went up against them, a lot of people were saying that Florida's record does not tell the truth behind the type of talent that was there in Florida. Florida was a really good team starting out. They started off really, really hot. And so they just caught Texas on a bad weekend and they ended up wetting the bed. And so I think ultimately that's what's really going to kind of hurt them as far as making the playoffs. But to Steve Sarkisian's point, right? So what he was talking about is he was talking about how they play a lot of these out of conference, how they play these out of conference games. So every single college, right? Especially of course, all eyes are going to be on the SEC. But so like every single school has to do they have to schedule out of conference games. So meaning that they have to go outside of the SEC and they have to play some teams. Well, a lot of the times they get to pick and choose who they want to go up against. Well, Steve Sarkisian and the University of Texas, they chose Ohio State,
Oh wow.
defending national champs. I mean, go big or go home, right?
Wow.
And so that
Okay.
so that that's a really really tough opponent. That's a really tough game, especially to put basically your season on the line against one of the best teams in the country,
Yeah.
right? And so what he was complaining about is that, so what do you want us to do? Because who didn't watch that Ohio State Texas game? Everyone was watching that game. That was a massive game. It was great. I
Yeah.
mean, it probably sucked if you're more of an offensive guy and you don't care much about the defense. Me personally, like I like both matchups. I love it when it's a shootout, but I also love when it's a really, really good defensive game. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just defense is just going toe to toe, lights out. Offenses can't. There's nothing wrong with that.
Bro, I'm a
There's nothing
Texans
wrong with
fan.
that.
I know all about defensive games.
Yeah, it's football, dude. Right? That's why they always say there's three phases of the game: offense, defense, special teams.
Yep.
So, anyways, so he's like, "What do you want us to do?" He's like, "If you're going to penalize us for that loss against Ohio State," he goes, "we can just go do just like how everyone else does, and schedule these out of conference games where they're playing, Northern Illinois and some bogus no name college that in most cases, some of these top tier teams, they actually have to pay that college to play them. I don't know if you know that, but they're in some cases, these top tier schools like Texas, like Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, right? When they play these no name colleges, if the college doesn't want to accept, oftentimes what happens is they actually pay the school money to play them.
Wow. Here's a donation so we can whoop your ass and get a little tune-up game.
Pretty much. And so what he's saying is that a lot of these schools, because and he's not lying, he's spitting facts, but a lot of these schools, just like Ohio State, they schedule a lot of these out of conference games to be super easy teams. And so that way they can, pad their stats. That way they can have great records, things like that. And so Steve
Yeah.
Sarkisian's like, so what do you, he goes, if you're going to penalize us for that, well, then we're just going to go do the same thing that they're doing. Because it's not fair that we pick these tough opponents to play up against and we get penalized for it. But yet these other guys that are playing these no-name teams because their record looks good and they're beating these teams that have these 2-star recruits in there, they're ranked number one, and it's a joke. And so I will side with him on that. He makes a very valid point. But at the end of the day, where I think Texas is going to fail or fall is I think that the Florida loss holds too much weight on them to justify them getting into the and I think he kind of alluded to it a little bit too, because he was like, he goes, if we don't play Ohio State and we go play some no-name team, we're 10-2. And it's not even a question that we're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think that's something to kind of look out for, because I think you're going to start seeing, depending on what the committee does, if they put Texas in the playoffs and they don't penalize them for going to play some tough opponents, then I think that's good for NCAA football, because what you're going to start seeing is if schools don't have to worry about that being penalized against them, I think you're going to see some top tier schools go up against other top tier schools to really battle it out before the playoffs.
They're going to start taking some more risks.
Yeah, they're going to take more risks. They're going to be willing to go play these tougher teams, knowing that they're going to meet them again, most likely in the playoffs. But at least you get a game in the regular season to go up against them. So that way you have that much more film study on them. You understand the opponent better, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And I think that would be good for college football, because man, dude, I love some college football, bro.
Yeah.
Love it. It's so
Yeah.
exciting, bro. They play
You're
with so much
educating me a lot
passion.
right now.
College just plays with so much passion, you know what I mean? And the fan bases are just absolutely amazing, man. Like, again, UT's got a great fan base. You talk about the Aggies with home of the 12th man. Dude, Kyle Field, that stadium is intense. LSU with Death Valley. You got Ole Miss. You got Ohio State, the shoe, right? That's what they call it. They call the stadium the shoe. Boy, it gets freaking loud in there, bro.
I would love to go to a college football game. Love for that reason. I want to see how loud it gets.
We went to a Texas game when they played against Tech a couple years back, and dude, it was amazing. Amazing. Great atmosphere, people getting rowdy and crazy, but like in a good way. They're not doing it to just shit on people and just to act a fool, bro. Like everyone's into it. Then you have all like the fight songs, and you have the school song, and everything that they have, all the rituals and traditions that they do pre-game, all the rituals they do after the game, and all that good jazz. Dude, it's an awesome environment, man.
It's just high school ball on steroids.
Oh, overloaded on steroids, bro. Like some early 2000s MLB steroids, Hell yeah.
2000s UFC steroids, bro. Come on.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't know what everybody else's thoughts are. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be biased in my opinion with Texas getting into the playoff. I want them to make the playoffs. Do I think that they're going to go all the way? No. I think that they'll probably get, handed an L either in the first or second round or something like that. But I I don't see them not putting up a fight, you know. But again, to the flip side of that, there's a lot of cases that you can make as for a reason as to why Texas should be in there. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, I just think that that Florida loss is going to hurt them so much so to the point where that's what's going to be the kryptonite for the season
Hmm.
and why they potentially miss the playoffs. But anyways, that was the first topic, man, but that was just one little side story to the whole college atmosphere right now. Let's look into the Lane Kiffin, dude, with LSU.
See, and I don't know much about college football or anything, but this definitely hit my timeline. So I definitely want to know what the heck is going on with this because, like I said, zero knowledge of college football. So for a coach to leave in the playoffs or however it's working, I'm shooketh. I don't know what to think because yeah, just never knew you could do that. It's crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, well, so basically what's going on is that um hold on, I'm trying to make sure that this see it's unlocked. I need to change this. I don't know why it's locked. How do I edit live video? Let's see if I can edit this at all. It says that we're private on settings, stream viewer, interactivity, polls, question distribution. Oh. See, I don't know why it's I don't know why our live shows up as private on Facebook,
I
and
don't know.
I don't know how to change it. It doesn't let me change it. Anyways, all right, we'll just leave that alone. It is what it is. Yeah,
Hmm.
so with Lane Kiffin, so let's get back into it, right? So with Lane Kiffin, so coach of Ole Miss, right? He's been the coach there for probably 3 seasons now, and he's been coming on strong. You know what I mean? He had one of the best teams in the country last season, and he was on pace to, or they're gonna make the playoffs for sure this season, and so he built up a really good program. Now, obviously, there was a lot of coaching seats that opened up this year, specifically LSU. You had Florida open up, so there's a lot of different schools that became available, and so LSU obviously calls up Lane Kiffin, figures out a way to get him in there, and ultimately takes the job. Now, where the story gets kind of, I guess, loud in the not only in the media sense, but also too just in the real world, us as fans, the issue with everything is that how it happens. So with college, the colleges are able to interview the coaches even though they're still playing, as opposed to like the NFL. The NFL, you can't talk to a coach until after their season's over. So if you want to
Right.
hire or interview an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, their season has to be completely over, a foregone conclusion. They're out, done.
Right.
Then you can. So whoever set up the college football calendar for NCAA allows the coaches to be interviewed after a certain day. Well, that day falls while they're still playing in the regular season, which makes no freaking sense at all.
No.
And that's where people are getting frustrated. That's where people are getting pissed off, is because um their Ole Miss is going to go to the playoffs, and Lane Kiffin wanted to keep coaching there. But then the athletic director from Ole Miss was like, "No, dude, like you already accepted your job at LSU, so we don't want you there." And it's probably because he doesn't trust either the kids or even potentially the coach, right? He doesn't trust them to,
Yeah.
like the kids to play their heart out, because think about it, right? If you're a player on the field and that coach, your head coach, sat in your living room while you were being recruited and said, "Hey, man, I'm here, ride or die. I'm going to be here till the end of time. I'm going to make sure that I'm with you all 4 years of your college career. This and this and that. Blah 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 blah." And then, like, what happens if it's like a first year starter, and then you find out that old boy's going to LSU?
Yeah.
You don't know that those kids would flat out just collapse on purpose on the field to make him look like an idiot. And on the flip side, though, you also don't know if Lane Kiffin would coach like a questionable game, like make questionable calls, maybe substitute players out that he doesn't normally substitute out, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a conflict of interest between both parties involved, and so they'd rather just not have him there. So the athletic director said, "No, you can't coach the team."
That would make the most sense to me, because I mean, even without like the coach visit and like the promises and everything, but the fact that the coach already accepted like is already going somewhere else, like you already know it's a done deal. It's like, man, you didn't have faith in us for next year, or like as a sophomore, as a junior, or or a freshman. It's like, yeah, man, you don't have faith in us next year to win a championship. Like, what's so good about going over there? Like that's when you start to take it personal. Like you probably shouldn't, but I can see why in the NFL it's a good idea to wait after the season to talk to the coach, because you just don't want that. That's just bad energy, I would say, in the locker room.
Yeah, but my thing is, I don't care about the fact that he's going to LSU. I think it's great for him because at the end of the day, that's what these coaches are going to do, right?
Yeah,
They're going to go to because you have to think about some of the things that a coach has to go through, right? So through these certain schools, they're only allowed, certain type of recruits or whatever the case may be. And so when you get a top tier school like LSU, I mean, the alumni is deep. When you talk about ex football players that played there, that went to the NFL, some of them are now Hall of Famers. Their alumni core is just insane. I mean, the list can go on and on and on for days when you look about when you think about who all went there. I mean, just most recently, right? You got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. That those are just
Odell
those are just
Beckham.
Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry. Like a lot of these guys, they all went to LSU. Ryan Clark, Marcus Spears. There's just a whole bunch of people that went there, and so their alumni runs deep, which means this is going to be deep. You know what I mean? The pockets are going to be deep. There's a lot of money there. So just every which way you turn, even NIL money is going to be better. And then the school itself sells itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
because
for example,
LSU.
like it's LSU, right? So you grow up, and if you get offered D1 offers, it's like, and you get offered to go, say for example, if I'm going to go to LSU or Florida, I'm gonna go to LSU. You know what I mean? It's just better. It's a rich history. The whole Death Valley thing, like it's just a rich history. And so it's like that is where, you know, kids want to go to school at. They want to go play football there. Same thing
Mm,
with baseball. Their baseball program is outstanding.
really?
They just won a national championship not that long ago. And they were in the playoffs again last year. And so it's like um they just have a really rich history, man. And so for the coaches to go, like I don't
They got
blame them
Shaq
at
coming out
all.
of basketball.
You got Shaq there too. So again, and then the women's college basketball, they just won a championship a few years ago with your
Oh,
girl.
Angel, is it Angel Reese from there?
Yeah, with your girl,
Yeah.
dog. Yeah. You know
Oh,
what I'm
Sid.
saying?
Oh, Sid looking ass.
Oh shit. Sid the Sloth or what, dog?
I love those memes.
Cisco, what do you mean by finishing the season? Is that also correct? What do you mean?
Who are you talking about? What's going on there? Who we have a
He said
watchman?
from what I was seeing, Lane was telling the offensive staff to go to LSU, causing havoc with Ole Miss and messing up their program. That is why the AD told him to basically just leave without. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of angles and stories, Cisco, that this has gone on from. So there's no telling like what's true, what isn't true. I mean, again, I'm only going off of pure speculation from this side of the table, but there's both ends of the table. You feel me? Mm. You like what I did there, dog?
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
hashtag plug it.
Hashtag bet.
That's
But
why
anyways,
Leonard
so
left.
but yeah, so I mean, all in all, to it all, I don't really care that he left. I'm happy for him. I think it's great. I think he's going to do an excellent job there at LSU. I think he's going to be a better coach than what Brian Kelly ever was. Be quite honest with you. Um, but it's just that the NCAA needs to get their freaking schedule right. That's what's messed up about this whole thing. You see, because Lane Kiffin should be coaching this team. But what it is that because they allowed the schools to interview the coaches during the season still, that's what makes this all messed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is because
Nobody
I
wants to
mean,
see nobody wants to see Ole Miss win without Lane Kiffin, except Ole Miss fans. Right? But like if you're an outsider like myself looking in and it's like, okay, if Texas gets bounced out, I'm kind of just rooting for the field at that point, and I'm just kind of, picking the best storyline. Lane Kiffin's got a good story going on. You know what I mean? Brought that school up from nothing to something, built a badass program, and became a dominant football team. One of the best teams in the country.
well, now it's personal to the kids and everyone there. That's like, look, guys, we can do this without him.
Exactly. And I think that's also too where the AD could be coming from by saying, "Hey, Lane, you can't be here no more." You know what I mean? But NCAA has to figure that out, bro. They finally fixed the transfer portal where the kids couldn't transfer until because if you remember 2 seasons ago, the transfer portal opens up. There was I forget what college it was. It might have been Florida State. Um, dude, they had like 6 of their starters hit the transfer portal and they were in the playoffs. So they
How
couldn't
does that
play.
work?
Exactly, because the NCAA scheduling is all jacked up. So they finally switched it to where the transfer portal doesn't open up until like January or some shit like that, like the second week or third week of January. So they finally switched that up. But then they forget about the coaches thing. Maybe because they thought that it would never happen, but here we are today and it's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, how long has college football been around? How long has the NCAA been around? It's been around most of all my life. I think I'm pretty sure.
Bro, the NCAA's been there for years, dog. I mean, this go the history of colleges go back all the way as far back as just the NFL goes, back in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, but like the actual National College Association of America, like itself, that goes back as far as the NFL title goes back. Holy shit!
Well, and so that's why also too. So with all these changes and everything, the NIL, because a lot of people were against NIL happening. I mean, look at Coach Saban. Coach Saban got out of coaching specifically because of NIL. He warned everybody that this was going to change the game in ways that you know the typical everyday fan they weren't going to know, or like
Yeah.
they're not going to see what he's talking about. But here it is. Had he explained it to you in detail years back, you wouldn't have understood. But this is exactly what he was referring to. Is he was referring to the fact that you're going to have these kids that are transferring schools, leaving school early. Now, on the flip side to it, it has made college more competitive, and it does give more looks to the players, right? Because that was the other downside to this too, especially with the transfer portal never being around. You couldn't switch schools. So a lot of these kids that were getting recruited, say for example by Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, UT, A&M, Texas Tech, OU, all these big time major schools, they're getting all these recruits, and then sometimes they don't even play them. They might go their whole collegiate career, they never even play a snap on the field. And so
Wow.
therefore they never get seen.
Yeah.
Well, with the transfer portal now in effect, now they can actually, if they choose like, okay, well, you know what, I can do better. I'm the backup quarterback. I shouldn't be the backup quarterback. So let me go somewhere else. I'm going to go do that. Now they have the option to go ahead and do that. But before it wasn't like that. They were just stuck.
Yeah.
So the transfer portal definitely has an advantage because it's made college football more competitive, and that's why you're starting to see all these teams come through. Like, like look at Indiana. Indiana came out of nowhere, bro.
Who?
Indiana
Indiana what?
University.
What are they?
Like, what's their mascot?
Yeah. Who are they? What are they?
Hell if I know what their mascot is, but that's not even the point. What I'm saying is that Indiana came out of nowhere, bro. They were a nobody.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like who? Who the fuck are
And you
these
got their
people?
coach. I think their coach is Signetti, something like that. Bro, he's got them. I mean, they're playing lights out. Last year, he showed up out of nowhere. Like that team showed up out of nowhere. But then they went up against like Ohio State, and then they just got blitzed in the playoffs. And so you had people like Kirk Herbstreit that were out there talking like, "Oh, well, this is exactly why people like this should have never." This is exactly why schools like this should never be in the playoffs. They didn't play anybody in the regular season, so they don't deserve to be here. Yada yada yada. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't Ohio State. Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe it was Oregon or something like that. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that you had people like that talking shit. Well, here they are again, ranked number 2, and they took down Oregon. They played against Oregon and beat Oregon. They're undefeated right now in their season. But it's because of this transfer portal that allows these kids to go explore elsewhere, especially if they feel like they should be a starter. And maybe that coach is not giving them the opportunity to start. And say, for example, you're a junior, and you only have 2 more years of eligibility. It's like, dude, I need to go somewhere where I can get seen.
Yeah.
So I can get drafted. So Cisco said the NCAA was founded March 31st, 1906.
Holy smokes.
Told you, dog, it
Wow.
goes way back, brother. Goes way
And
back.
their rules are all jacked up like they just started.
Yeah, it's bad. So now, a lot of fans, especially the media too, they've been pushing that the NCAA needs to have like a commissioner, somebody
Yeah,
who
he
can
said
actually
something.
manage all this shit, because right now there's, you just have the committee, and obviously everyone hates the committee. You had people like Pat McAfee calling them out. There's a numerous amount of people that can't stand the committee on the NCAA. But it's because there's hardly any freaking like real rules to follow. Like it's not set in stone for everybody to follow. So everyone just kind of figures out loopholes and ways to like finagle it. And it's always going to be all jacked up.
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah. So it's
I don't know, actually. I
like I
just
said, man, the whole thing is like all super weird, and it definitely needs to get fixed for sure. That the whole scheduling part needs to get fixed. And but guess who is involved in all this though, big dog?
What do you mean?
Well, so remember last week when we talked about, or it wasn't last week because I know it was the week prior. Remember when I talked about Jimmy Sexton with the CAA and how he's been making all um these moves? Like we talked about him pulling all the strings, especially with the Cleveland Browns, and how that led to kind of Shador kind of having an unfair shot.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out, look at this. I've been patiently waiting for the Sexton issues. Well, as it turns out, that Jimmy Sexton also represents Lane Kiffin, my man. Yeah. And what I also found out too, bro, is that this guy has like, dude, all sorts of people on under his wing, dude. Like, it's really freaking scary how many people he has.
This guy's everywhere, man.
He is everywhere, man. And unfortunately, I'm using my freaking phone as my camera, so I can't find it for you, but I know that he represents Steve Sarkeesian from UT. He also represents Kirby Smart from Georgia.
Jeez.
Um, Kalen DeBoer from Alabama. He represent Lane Kiffin. He represented Nick Saban once upon a time, and then Mike Norvell. Dude, I mean the list freaking goes on, bro. And so there's a lot of people now that are speaking out about this because they're like, dude, some of them are calling him like a what do they call him? Like a giant or whatever, like a juggernaut or a powerhouse, you know. They're and now you got people that are sitting there saying that like he's the puppet master. You know, Mike Greenberg today on Get Up talking about, you know, Jimmy Sexton's the one that's pulling all these strings that's getting these coaches paid up. I mean, look at Lane Kiffin, 7 years, $91 million, and there was all sorts of stipulations that went in there to where he's still going to get paid.
Damn.
You
By
know what I
Ole
mean?
Miss?
Like well, no. So like again, so depending on how far Ole Miss goes into the playoffs, he's going to get paid out all the bonus and incentives up to $1 million. LSU is going to pay them out, so he's not even going to be coaching the team. And
Wow.
depending on how they do, they could potentially he could potentially get.
I lost you.
Look at this. Cisco said
I, I lost
it's like
you.
a un
There you are.
Cisco said it's like a unrecognized Diddy party. Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's an unrecognized Diddy party?
I have no clue, but it sounded funny, so that's why I laughed. But yeah, so they're calling Sexton like this powerhouse, man, like, you know, that this guy's kind of has, you know, almost like he has too much power because if you think about it, he's controlling the majority of these college football coaches, especially the ones out of in the SEC. And so it's like you don't know what strings he's pulling. And then now this guy's got connections to the NFL where it's clear as day he was the reason why Dylan Gabriel got drafted by the Browns. I mean, think about
Yeah.
that, right? There was 32 teams that passed up on him at least twice because he got drafted in the third round. So that means all 32 teams passed on him at least twice before Jimmy probably had to start making some calls and was like, "Hey,
Get your boy.
uh, hey yo, Kev, hey yo, Kev, I'm gonna need you to, you know, pull some strings here real quick because you know we're also representing Dylan Gabriel, so I'm gonna need you to go ahead and put in a good word and get my boy drafted here real quick." You know what I mean? And what do
Yeah.
you know? Freaking homeboy gets picked up. You know what I mean?
Well, didn't you say he represents the GM as well?
He does represent the GM, which is another thing. He could have easily called the GM. Hey, yo, Drew, hit my boy up. He's part of the crew too. You see what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, it all
So
made sense when you first explained it to me. So I mean, it's just crazy. Like I don't know if you ever seen the conspiracy with Nico. Was his last name Harrison, the old coach for the Mavericks,
he was the GM.
the GM. Yeah, the GM for the Mavericks. Well, it's like there's like I saw like a something just like how you put it all together. Uh, he was like an executive or something for Nike, and then he ended up going to the Mavericks, and he was the reason why Luca went to the Lakers because the Lakers numbers were down, and like, dude, like it was like this. I'm gonna find this video on TikTok and I'm gonna send it to you. It's crazy. But let's continue.
Well, no, so
I'm a butcher it.
but there was a big story that came out about that too, because so Mark Cuban sold the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah,
And the people who he sold the Dallas Mavericks to is a family that is incorporated with a lot of
the gambling.
casinos.
Yeah,
Yes. And so word on the street was is that the owners wanted to open up a casino inside of the Maverick Stadium. But obviously you can't do that in Texas, right? Because
not yet.
gambling's illegal. Not yet, but I mean again, gambling's illegal in Texas and so they couldn't do that. And so because they couldn't do that, they were making these wild little, they're basically insinuating that they were going to leave Texas, they were going to transfer the Dallas Mavericks over to like, Vegas, for example. They're going to throw them in Vegas and they were going to be the Vegas Mavericks or whatever the case may be, because they really wanted to get a casino inside of the actual basketball stadium. And so obviously the league wasn't going to do that. So there was a lot of skepticism saying, or, there was a lot of conspiracy theories going around that the whole trade with Luka Doncic was that they wanted the Dallas Mavericks to tank for the season. And so that way it'll hurt their stock, it'll hurt their profits. And so that way it gives the owners a reason as to why they need to move, because the fan base is not loyal, they're not making no money, yada, 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 whatever. But then now there's a conspiracy theory going around that the NBA was like, no, we're not going to let you do that. We're going to give you the first overall pick and put you right back in the thing, right back in the mix. You know what I mean? And so there was a whole conspiracy theory about that, because the Mavericks had like a less than 1% chance or just over a 1% chance of getting the
And they
first
got
overall
it.
pick, and they got it. So that was the whole other different like thing there. You know what I mean? Like, just there's so many crazy conspiracy theories that are going around about what happened with that. And then what do you know? Nico ends up getting fired. What, just last month?
Something like that, a month or two ago.
Yeah. Dude, poor Jason Kidd, bro.
What happened?
Well, Jason Kidd's the coach.
Oh,
And a lot of people don't mention it, man. But for me, like personally, I credit Jason Kidd for who Giannis Antetokounmpo turned into. I credit Jason Kidd for that growth and development, because Jason Kidd was the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. And he's the one that developed and brought up Giannis into the player that he is. And he got fired the season before they won the championship, if I'm not mistaken.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was the head coach of the Bucks.
Hmm.
Wow.
And so now he's the coach of the Mavericks, and he takes them to the finals, right? Albeit they don't win it, but then he's loading up on some star players. You get Kyrie Irving and a couple of other additions to your squad, and then now you got yourself a little pretty good little crew there. Albeit they got hurt last season, and then boom, Luka Doncic gets traded, and it's like, what the hell? So it's like, hopefully he has enough time to develop. Who's the new kid that they just drafted?
Cooper Flag.
Cooper Flag. Hopefully he has enough time to get him trained up to where he has an opportunity to be there when he hits his prime. Because that kid's going to be something special.
Think so? I haven't paid attention to that either.
Yeah. That kid's going to be something special, man. But
I hear about him
anyways,
a
man.
lot in Dallas, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, rightfully so. Rightfully so.
rightfully
You know what I'm
so,
saying?
right?
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. But let's transition over, brother. Let's transition over to the NFL side. Because
Yeah, let's go back.
chat, in case if you don't know this, brother, we got a Philly fan in the house, but he's not in the house. We inside, but we outside.
But we out.
You know what I'm saying? And so you notice that somebody's not here in studio with us today, and that'd be Francisco. And I wonder why when the Philadelphia goes down to the Chicago Bears 24-15 and gets absolutely slaughtered by the Chicago Bears. He just so happens to be out of town, folks. So it's like 6-7.
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, man, old Cisco trying to avoid the party, dog. He's
Hey,
trying to
what's their
avoid the
lose?
party.
What's their losing streak right now?
I think they're on a 2-game skid, dude. They fall to
Man,
8-4, which we talked about who was going to win the NFC East, and I don't know. He was pretty convinced that streak, that 21-year streak, was going to get broken, and with that loss right there, dude, you got the Cowboys now at 6-5-1. They're not that far away from them now.
no, and they can finish the season strong. They look like a pretty good team for the regular season.
Yep. And if they can skid by the Lions, because that's going to be a pretty good matchup on Thursday, 7:15 Prime Video, y'all. Just so y'all know, 7:15 Prime Video. It's going to be in Detroit at Ford Field. Okay. But anyway, so if they can skid by Detroit, they play the Vikings, the Chargers, the Commanders, and the Giants to finish off the season. So they could easily win out the rest of the season.
Right.
Maybe the Chargers give them a tough matchup, but the defense has been playing lights out. Cowboys have like a top 5 defense ever since the trade deadline with the acquisitions of Quinnen Williams and Logan Wilson, right? Was it Logan Wilson? Yeah. Dude, they have like a top 5 defense ever since they've acquired those 2 players, which is insane to think that just those 2 players can make that big of a difference. But that's the reality, is that they've been playing some lights out defense. And so they're coming up, man. So Cisco, you better hold on, dog. You better hold on, because your boys might lose that number 1 spot in that NFC East. Just saying.
They just might. They've been rocky all season. Saquon ain't doing nothing. AJ Brown is, he's having one good game every 3 or 4 games. Smith has been quiet. Hurt, it's been quiet. Like everyone knows whose fault this is.
Well, and Jalen Hurts did not play a good game at all, man. Like he did not have a good time. I think he even threw like a pick. What was his stats here? 19-34, 232 tuds, 1 interception, only 55% completion percentage. AJ Brown actually had himself a decent game, but it seems like when AJ Brown has the decent game, that they kind of lose at the same time. AJ Brown goes off 10 receptions, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns. Boy, it would have been a great day to start him. But you got Saquon, 13 attempts, only 56 yards. And so
started
Saquon
him as well.
He hasn't been doing so well, dude. He hasn't been doing that great.
No, this definitely been a rough season for him. I don't know. I think he's probably had maybe 3 or 4 good games, this season. But other than that, it's been pretty tamed. But I wouldn't even say tamed. Maybe, yeah, it's been tamed, because regardless of the play call, he's usually that guy that somehow made shit happen, and it don't look like he's making shit happen.
But see, here's the deal. Here's the deal, right? So normally this Eagles team has relied heavily on their defense to allow the offense to where they just have to manage the game. They don't have to be game changers. They just have to manage the game. Well, when you allow 250 plus rushing yards, it's going to be kind of hard. And so then you're going to start asking the offense to do a lot more than what's necessary. And unfortunately, that's not all that great, because if you look at Caleb did not have a good game either. 17 completions, 154 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was only completing 47% of his passes. But then you got guys like DeAndre Swift, 18 attempts, 125 yards, 1 touchdown. Another guy that I've never even heard of, Monaghy, whatever his name is, 22 attempts, 130 yards, 1 touchdown. Where the hell did he come from?
Oh my goodness. What?
Yeah. So it's like,
oh my gosh.
You run the ball all over them, bro. You talking about clock management, right? Because chances are your time of possession is a lot more than what the Eagles are, which kind of makes you a one-dimensional team, forces you to pass. Hence the reason why Jalen Hurts had over 200 yards passing. You know what I mean? Saquon kind of gets eliminated out of the equation, but he can still come out of the backfield if he does like little check downs. I mean, I don't know. Cisco says to fire KP, but brother, I don't know. I don't
Sirianni's the
even.
one that's choosing to stick with him.
I agree that Kevin Petula just hasn't really done a great job all season, hands down, 100%. Because if you look at their weapons, they have all the same weapons that they had last year, but Kellen Moore was calling a much better offensive scheme than what they were. But you have to also too take a look into account at the defense as well. And the defense just hasn't been playing up to their standard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when you have that all kind of culminating all into one, man, I'm sensing that the downfall is coming. If you remember a couple years ago when they lost six straight to close out the season, they started off hot 10-0, and then they lost like six straight. They ended up finishing the season, I think, 11-6 that year. I'm kind of sensing the same thing happening this year.
Damn.
Cisco, I'm sorry, brother, but yeah.
It's gonna be like the Colts. The Colts and the Eagles are gonna do the same thing. I think the Colts dropped to third in the AFC South. I think the Jaguars take number one and the Texans go number two.
Well, so the Colts are still second in the AFC South. Jags are number one, but they're tied with the Jags at 8-4. Texans
Yeah.
are holding out at 7-5, so they're still the third rank. But all three teams now have more than a 50% chance of making the playoffs. Now, who wins the division is a different story,
Yeah, I
but
think the Jags win it.
it's pretty interesting with that AFC South, man, because you got three games. But I do see the Colts. The Colts seem like they're imploding before our very eyes, man.
Yeah.
I think teams have figured out that if you can stop Jonathan Taylor, then you can stop the Colts altogether. Because when you put that type of pressure on Daniel Jones, I mean, make no mistake about it, though. I feel for Daniel Jones. You got that motherfucker out there playing with a broken leg, literally
Yeah.
a broken
A
fibula.
fractured tibia, fibula.
Fibula, tibula, shibula, mibula. I don't give a damn what it's called. Lakers in 5. Anyways, but yeah, dude. So like, Daniel. I mean, dude, they're going all in with Daniel Jones, dog. They'd much rather play him with a broken leg than and well, is Anthony Richardson still hurt? Because didn't that dude get hurt?
How
Like
did he get hurt? He don't even play.
it was something stupid. No, no, no. Like it was something stupid. Like he was throwing a ball on the sideline or some shit and broke his orbital bone.
What?
Yes, dude. You don't remember reading about that?
No.
Yeah, dude was like on the sidelines, bro, just like tossing the football, and somebody ends up breaking his
Wow.
orbital bone.
His eye?
Jesus.
The ball hit his eye?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
Riley Leonard is the backup quarterback for the Colts.
Yeah, but look up what happened to Anthony Richardson. It
That's
was a fractured orbital, but look at the reason why. It was like something ridiculous. It was something dumb.
Anthony. Okay, NFL quarterback Anthony Richardson is currently on injured reserve after sustaining an orbital bone fracture in a freak accident involving a resistant band before a game in
There you
October
go.
of 2025.
A resistance band. So one of those arm stretch bands that he's probably using just working out his arm to warm up his elbow, and it probably ends up snapping or something and fractures his orbital.
In October of 2025, Richardson was injured when a pole he had attached a resistance band to snapped and hit him in the face, breaking his orbital bone. So the pole snapped and the pole broke his face.
I don't think the pole broke his face. I think it was the resistance band that probably snapped back and hit him.
But there's no way a resistance band can break an orbital, brother. It makes more sense if the pole broke.
Brother, I'm no scientist, dog. I'm not sitting here saying how it happened, bro. I'm just saying that it was retarded.
Yeah, but it's not that. No,
it was
it's
a
not that crazy.
it was with a damn tension band, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, dog. Okay. There was no cameras in the area to confirm exactly what happened, so I can't comment or speculate. You know what I'm saying?
It was a Coyote Roadrunner incident.
Straight up, dude. Straight up.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, dude. So the AFC South division, man, turned into a nice little powerhouse there with the Jags, Colts, and Texans. I do think that the Colts are going to end up falling out, though, if teams can continue to stop them, which we even said, too. Oh, that's funny.
What?
Cisco said, I mean, an eye poke got Aspinall down, so it was a tension band, dog. A tension band.
That is such a different claim. And Aspinall actually posted the stats of his hospital visits. He has a fracture in his eye and some like tissue damage. Apparently, he's getting surgery on his eye. So just saying,
Man, dog, he's probably paying off those damn surgeons, dude, just to say that they did it and they didn't even actually do it, dog.
I don't know. He ain't got that much money.
Think about this though. Who in the hell else do you know that has gotten injured that has posted more freaking videos and all this crap to prove the injury than him?
It's because he wants to prove everyone wrong. I mean,
that's
what do you want him to do? What do you want him to do,
dog?
What do you want him to do?
Go away and get healed up on your own, dog. You don't need to sit there and throw it in my face and try to make an excuse as to, oh, well, this is why I had to stop the fight, is because I got hurt. My eye got poked. Oh my God.
That is terrible. Oh my God. Yeah. My eye got illegally poked.
Kidding, dude. I'm just
Let's go back to football.
Let's go back to football, folks. Let's go. Anyway, so let's see here. You got Cincinnati that beat up on Baltimore. That was terrible. Dude.
Oh, another team imploding right before our eyes. The Ravens.
The Ravens aren't imploding. But I just got to rub my head for this one.
Uh-oh.
I have Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, and Mark Andrews on my fantasy squad. Because those guys are dogs.
Usually.
Keyword, usually. I can't even make this up, brother. Mark Andrews did all right. I mean, he got like 9-10 points, whatever. But Zay Flowers got me like -2 points because the damn dude
he fumbled,
caught the ball and fumbles it like an idiot. Then you got freaking Lamar Jackson over here, throws for like 250 yards, but throws an interception, fumbles the ball twice, and loses the fumbles too on top of that. So it was like 12 points that he costed me just in those. So he only got me like 7 points.
Damn.
And Diego isn't even adjusting his squad.
He has someone on a bye or out.
So he had like a quarterback that wasn't even playing. He had like another receiver that was either out or on injury or something. I don't know. Dude, he had like 3 players not play and he beat me.
Wow.
That's how bad my fucking fantasy team did. And then it didn't help that Amon-Ra St. Brown left in the first quarter with an ankle injury. It didn't help the fact that Jahmyr Gibbs didn't have a great day. I mean, the Detroit Lions didn't have a great day at all. They lost to Green Bay 31-24. So that hurt me.
That was shocker.
So I'm just like, brother, every which way you look, dude, it was just it was bad. I think I only scored like 85 total points. Just terrible, dog. Terrible. So anyways, but yeah, so Cincinnati wins big there. They take down Baltimore 32-14, which does make things pretty interesting. Now, Ravens in the AFC North, they actually hold the number 1 seed still, even in the loss. The Steelers drop down to second place now. But the Bengals kind of put themselves back in the mix at 4-8. I don't know that they only have like a 2% chance of making the playoffs, but with Joe Burrow back, they go up against the Bills, the Ravens again, the Dolphins, the Cardinals, and the Browns. So, of course, depending on how well they do, if they win the season out right there and finish off, what is that, 9-8? They did the same thing last year. They missed the playoffs. This year, they could actually potentially make the playoffs with that sort of record. Of course, depends on how the Steelers and Ravens finish off the season as well. But another interesting division to look out for is the AFC North, just because it's anyone's game right now. You know what I mean?
It's so bad.
But then you got the sleeper.
Carolina
Me. You
Panthers.
got the sleeper team of the weekend, bro. Yeah. Go ahead.
Carolina Panthers, bro.
I think about it.
I mean, it's so weird because I wouldn't say they're overrated or underrated, but they're winning football games somehow. They're second in their division.
Yep.
They're what? They're what, 6-6 or 7-6?
7-6. Yep.
7-6 behind the Tampa Bay Bucks, bro.
Who are 7-5.
What is going on? What is this team doing? How are they winning? I'm gonna have to throw on a Panther game to see what the hell's going on. Because last week I was saying that the Rams are gonna win the Super Bowl. How can I confidently back that statement up this week, knowing that they just lost to the Panthers?
Well, and I think a lot of people were saying that the Rams are arguably one of the best teams, if not the best team in football. And you got somebody like the Carolina Panthers that just went in there and, I mean, granted, it was at home. So I don't want to say they went in there, but they went into the game, and straight up
and they defended their turf.
But you got Bryce Young, man. He's playing pretty good. I mean, he went 15-20, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Chuba Hubbard finally showed up because I have him on my fantasy. He's been on my bench, though, all year because Rico Dowdle showed up on the scene and they didn't want to let him off the damn field. So Chuba Hubbard had himself a game with 83 rushing yards.
Hubbard, because I dropped his ass.
No. On my other, I don't have him on my other one. I have him on my other fantasy. I have him, but yeah. So he had 83 rushing yards. Rico Dowdle 58 rushing yards. Receiving yards, Coker with 74, McMillan 43, Hubbard 41. Look at that. Had himself a day, 120 all-purpose yards.
Damn.
Oh, I heard my echo on that one. That one sounded good. But yeah, man. So you got some guys, man, over there in Carolina, man. They're playing some pretty good football right now.
They're doing something right.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're beating good teams, right? Didn't they beat? They beat the Rams. Didn't they beat Green Bay?
So they beat the Rams. They beat the Falcons. They beat the Packers. They beat the Jets. They beat the Cowboys. They beat the Dolphins, and they beat the Falcons again. So and they spanked the Falcons the first game of the year, 30-0. And then they went back and put another 30 burger on them, but that one was a close game. They won 30-27, but still, nonetheless, a win's a win. You know what I mean?
But dude, they beat the Cowboys, they beat the Packers, and now they beat the Rams. That's, I mean, if you're going to beat anybody in the AFC, those are some pretty good teams right now to be beating. The only team they need to beat now is
Carolina,
the Seahawks. Who knows? Cinderella story could be. Who knows?
Now San Fran beats out Cleveland They beat him out 26-8. So there was obviously some, you know, some chatter about that on whether or not Shador should start. But Kevin Stefanski's already come out and said that he's going to be the starter for next season, or I'm sorry, for the next week or whatever. But then I think
Damn.
that's where a lot of people started talking about today is like, should it even be a foregone conclusion that he should just start the rest of the season? There's only like 4 games left, 5 games left, whatever it is. And you already got your sample size from Dylan Gabriel. He didn't show you much. So why not give Shador the same amount of opportunity to see what you have with those two quarterbacks? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it only
Right.
makes sense to just do that. Let him start the rest of the season, figure out what he's made of. That way you know what you have, and then that way you know what you got to do. Do you build around him in the draft? Do you have to go back to the drawing board? Do you need to make some acquisitions to the wide receiver room? Because I mean, who are they throwing to right now?
What do you mean? Who do they throw into?
Yeah, what receivers do they
Bro, they
have?
got
They
a
don't have a.
superstar down there in Cleveland.
Who are you talking about?
What do you mean? Who am I talking about?
In
Bro, this is
Cleveland,
a
they got a
top
what?
five. This is a top five receiver, dude. Blessing up fantasy leagues, dog. Blessing up fantasy teams. Dropping 30 burgers on fantasy every week, dog.
Who?
You got your boy Jerry Judy out there, homeboy.
Ain't no way he's dropping 30 points on fantasy. Ain't no
I mean,
freaking way, bro.
he's bitching at Shador like he does.
He's a jag, dog.
He's just a guy. So
He's
next
just
time you
a
decide
guy,
to come
bro.
at Agent 87, you better
Agent 89, dog. Agent
Agent
89.
89. My fault. Cut that out.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
dude. No, bro, but that's what they need to do is they need to figure out what they have at the quarterback position because like I said, they need to figure out okay, cool, do we need to go back to the drawing board for quarterbacks or do we think that we can develop this kid into what we believe could be a generational starter, whatever, or could be the face of our franchise? If they feel like one of them is good enough, for example, like Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders, okay, cool. Now we can either draft at building pieces around them. Let's get a bona fide number one receiver, maybe even draft another tight end, right? Maybe go look at a running back because you got Quinshon Judkins. He's pretty good. Quinshon
Yeah, he's putting
Judkins
up
is pretty
numbers.
good.
He's
But
putting
the
up
running back
numbers.
alone is not going to be able to just put you over the top by itself. Everyone knows that, right? But again, now you can start building the pieces around the quarterback if you know you have one. I
Yeah.
think they should start Shador for the rest of the season. That's just me. That's my
Yeah,
opinion.
that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting. Is he a dual threat? Did he run the option in college? That'd be something
No,
interesting for him and Judkins to
no.
run. Maybe little option
He
plays.
he
He's
can't run.
tiny. No, for real. No.
Yeah, Shador can't run. He's not a very fast-paced quarterback at all. He's definitely not. He's a pocket passer for sure, which is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but you got to have vision, and the thing is like you could definitely tell in this game right here against San Francisco is that he's looking for the deep ball. And so I think that's where the development piece comes into play is that over these next few weeks, you need to draw up some plays that kind of force him to go into some checkdowns. Teach him how to get the small yardage wins, right? To get to a third and manageable situation where the playbook is still wide open. Don't put
Yeah.
yourself in a third and long situation where it's an obvious passing play, and then of course they're going to send an all-out blitz on you because they know you're not going to run out of the pocket. And it forces you to go to a check down. Well, if they got somebody that's already on that check down, you're not getting any yards. You're hoping that your running back is going to be able to break a open field tackle. But then how much time does that take to where the rest of the defense is already on him? And he's not going to get the first down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I got you.
Bro, this guy is like stuck on these wide receiver catches, bro. So there was some interesting catches.
Who?
So Cisco, there were some
Oh,
interesting
it's not,
catches this weekend.
Talking about the catch of the year last night, huh?
Well, there was multiple candidates for catch of the year last night, dog. Because Brock Bowers made this insane, like one-handed grab, is left-handed, falling away, like just I'm pretty sure. I mean, we don't have any way to prove this, but I'm pretty sure Geno Smith was throwing that ball away. And Brock Bowers turned it into a grab somehow, some way. But I'm pretty sure he was throwing that ball away. Comes up with the catch. You got Puka who made another catch as well. There was another player, Burks, who did that. I think Burks was with the Commanders, right? Cisco. That
Yeah,
was the catch with the
yeah.
Commanders that kind of mirrored the Odell Beckham
Odell
catch.
Beckham. Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's
So
13 as well.
yeah. So he
Full
said, "Show
circle.
him. I don't have video cuts, dog. I don't have the video cuts, pimping. Maybe if you were here in studio, you probably could have sent us some videos, dog. I mean, it sounds like you've been doing some studying, so maybe you could have sent them through the chat. We could have had that prepared.
Maybe if he would just reply in the chat.
Oh,
I haven't heard from him since last Monday, my boy. Happy Thanksgiving, brother.
oh damn. Dude, speaking of Thanksgiving, bro, that was very disrespectful to me not to even start off the chat talking about how was your Thanksgiving. I
Are you
apologize.
asking me now?
I am asking, man, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, dude, it was actually really really good, man. I spent the whole day cooking. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I ate some poor decision food the night before that forced me to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So then I took a shower and decided to stay up and start prepping my turkey after that. So that's what I did. Got everything in the oven before 9. I cooked a lot. A turkey. I made the mac and cheese. Made all the gravy. Made rice. You know, some rolls. Shout out to you for the cardboard method. I invited I invited the guys from work over, so my boss came and one of my employees
Nice.
came over. Yeah, it was fun. We got to I got to host Thanksgiving for them, so that was it's exciting. It felt warm, comforting that I get to have people over finally.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it was nice. So like it was cool. I enjoyed it because down there we always cook for each other. So I'm always used to people coming over and just cooking for people.
Yeah.
So it was cool to watch. It was cool to watch other people like compliment my food. Like, yeah, you get that little. So yeah, no, it was very good. Kids had a good time. My old lady had a good time. It was a great Thanksgiving.
That's good, man. I'm
How
glad
was
that you and the
yours?
family had some time together, man. It was great. I mean, but we didn't do anything special, dude. We stayed home and I did the same as you, right? I cooked everything. But it was just the four of us, right? And so, but my wife, the leading up to Thanksgiving, she was like, I want all the sides. And I was like, what do you mean you want all the sides? And she's like, I want everything. She's like, I want you to make it all. She's like, I want you to make stuffing, corn, green bean casserole, broccoli, rice, and cheese casserole. Um, I want ham. I want freaking mac and cheese. I want this, that, the other, whatever. And I'm like, babe, you do
Damn,
realize
I
it's
mean,
just us four. I'm like, it's just us four. You know that, right? And she's just like, yeah, but I still want it. She's like, just don't make big portions. And I'm like, how do you not make big portions? It's Thanksgiving. Like, you don't know how to not make big portions. I mean, come on now,
yeah.
right? So I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, so how am I going to do this? And so, bro, here I am. So I threw in the turkey the night before. I threw it in the oven at 225. That's how my grandmother taught me how to cook the turkey. So I threw it in 225. I threw it in at 10 o'clock at night. I think I want to say it was ready to go by like 10 in the morning, maybe 9 in the morning, something like that. It was an 11 and a half hour cook in the oven. But it was perfect because you cook it overnight. You don't have to worry about it, set it and forget it, go to sleep. You wake up and it's pretty much done. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I did that. got all the sides ready to go by like 2-ish or whatever, and it was dinner time. You know what I mean? So I got all the sides laid out on the island. Everybody's there, like my kids and my wife. And so I'm telling my kids, I'm like, all right, boys, time to dig in, right? You know what these motherfuckers throw on their plate?
Mac and
Freaking
cheese.
one slice of ham and mac and cheese. I say, y'all better go back and get some turkey. That's a 21-pound turkey that we just cooked. You better get yourself some protein in your
Oh my
system.
god! For the four of y'all.
Well, the turkey was given to us by her mom, so that's what her mom, and her mom thought that all the family was coming over. They went off and did their own thing, which is cool. So the mom went off and did her own thing too, and so we got a 21-pound turkey. I mean, obviously, if we would have bought it ourselves, I wouldn't have bought that big of a turkey, knowing if it was just going to be us four. But we get what we get. We didn't, I wasn't going to complain because we didn't have to pay for the turkey itself. So it was like it was great. And it was fire too, bro. That turkey came out so good. And it was funny when he texted me like the whole basted with butter because I had did the same
Yeah.
exact thing. Dude, I went in there and freaking stirred up the butter and the herbs and the garlic and all that, bro. And I just stuck my hand in there, picked it up, and just, you know what I'm saying? I was sticking that turkey just.
Yeah, bro. I
I
use
was
like
like,
six full things of Kerrygold butter.
Jesus.
I had four regular, and then I put two of the garlic and herb Kerrygolds, and that's what I basted it with. And then I opened it. Well, I opened the skin and I put it under in the skin first, and then I put it all on top, and then I got another one. And I fucking put it in a ball. I threw it inside, and I put my onion inside. I put a bell pepper inside. I put some smashed garlic in there.
Mm.
Oof. Mm.
Bro, ain't
Bro,
nothing
it was
better than
juicy.
throwing the onion in there and then pulling it out afterwards and just slicing that mug up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So good.
Bro, the
So
onion
good.
from from the broth. So I missed my grandpa's rice and my grandpa's gravy, so I asked him for the recipe. And bro, you make some broth, right? You basically gotta make some just turkey broth, and then you use the broth water for your rice, and that's how he made his rice. Well, I did mine a little different. I made the broth, but my broth I added an onion, I added bell peppers, I added garlic. So whenever I poured the water, I poured the onion, the bell pepper, and the garlic. Bro, oh man, those things were so tasty inside the rice. Like once it all just broke in and mushed in there, and oh my god, the flavor you got from the onion and the bell pepper, oh, it was amazing. It was great. It was a fun time. I enjoyed cooking so much. I can't wait for us to make the tamales in 2 weeks now. Let me tell you.
Let's go. Dude, making tamales is fun, bro. And messy, but it's fun.
Yeah, very messy, but it is fun.
That's cool, man. But whatever you made, it sounds good, dude. You got me over here kind of craving up some shit. We still got leftovers. And so the kids the next day, they're like, Dad, what's for dinner? I'm like, Shh, brother, we're eating leftovers. We're
Thanksgiving.
eating, we're eating Thanksgiving for breakfast, lunch, and dinner until all this food is gone. Like, I'm sorry, bro. We made a whole bunch of food. Y'all eating this shit.
We just finished. We've just
They were
finished
all,
yesterday. All the food.
oh, we still have some, bro. And that's because the boys came home today from school and of course, they go straight to the damn pantry digging for chips and shit. And I was like, hey, no, 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 no. If you're gonna have some chips, I said, make yourself a turkey sandwich. Are you serious, Dad? Are you serious? I'm like, yes, bro. This stuff costs money, baby. I know we didn't pay for it, but we paid for it. You know what I'm saying? We inside, but we
Yeah.
outside.
Bro, back in the day, man, one of my favorite things as a kid was leftover turkey on top of a bread with some yellow sliced cheese on another bread in the microwave for like 15 seconds, 20
I don't even need to
seconds.
put cheese, dog. I just eat the turkey and the meat like that. Goes hard,
Mm.
son. If your turkey has good flavor to it, it goes hard, son.
Yeah, but something about that cheese. I love cheese. So I just bam, put that slice of cheese
Ain't
on there.
nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
I
Maybe
dig
add
it.
some ranch, some ketchup.
Cisco, we'd ask you how your Thanksgiving was, man, but you ain't here. So we hope that you had a good Thanksgiving, my man. We hope that all was well. And hopefully you had more than just mac and cheese on your plate
And
and chicken nuggets. Hopefully you actually
by
had some
mac and
turkey.
cheese, we mean macaroni and cheese, not a Big Mac with cheese.
Let's see what he says. He's gonna say something funny.
Is he even on?
I'm pretty sure he is because I'm not the second guy that's on, so somebody else is on for sure.
Oh.
But anyways, man, are you ready to hop back into this, bro? Because we ain't got to your Texans yet, who took down the
Oh, damn.
Colts 20-16, baby.
That was a fun game.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, you want to talk about defense. Being a Texans fan, I think I know a lot about having a good defensive game because that's all we can do is just play good on defense. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Everyone was content with how Stroud played. I think he played like shit. I mean, I get it. He was gone for a couple weeks with the concussion, but he still he looked like the same old Stroud even before he went out. So I could care
Yeah, I
less
mean,
who who's at quarterback right now for Houston. I just think we need a new one because I don't know if any of these guys are the answer.
you don't trust CJ Stroud, huh?
No, I think this season, I think I lost. I mean, unless he turns it around these last couple of games, I mean, but he has to do something good, like big, bro. But like, I'm just not seeing it from him, man. Like, I just don't see it. I don't see that.
That
He's
closer.
to me, to me, he's still a boy. He's still a boy in a man's league, and I think he's still. I don't know. I can't say that because I don't play football. So like, if you put me in that position, I'm sure I'd look like a boy in a man's league for sure. But to me, David Mills is more of a man. I feel like the team gets behind him better because they respect him more as a man. To where CJ Stroud, you still see that boy in him.
Like he doesn't have that leadership trait that you're
Yeah,
looking for in a quarterback.
yeah, he's not.
See,
Yeah, he can't motivate a group of vampires to go get blood. Like
yeah.
just not
I
him.
mean, if you can't do that, something wrong with you, pimp. You can't do that. But that's how I feel with Tua. You know, that's how I feel with Tua in Miami is like, you know, when I first heard him when he got like his first NFL start, what was it? I don't know if it was his rookie season or not or something like that, but it was like 6, 7 games in. He got his first NFL start. I want to say that they won and they talked to him after the game and just listening to him the way that he was like talking about the team and you know the way that they played like he stumbled with his words. He didn't know how to like compliment the team. He didn't know how to compliment the play calling, the defense, nobody. Like he was just, it was god awful. And then you hear him nowadays still in this post game press conferences, and it's still a tough watch. It's tough to listen to him because he's like he says just weird, almost like Mike McDaniel's. You know, he says a whole lot, and you don't really understand what he's saying, and you
Yeah,
don't know
they're
where.
rubbing up on each other.
Yeah, you don't know where he's going, and so you would think that they would have some sort of like leadership coach or a media coach maybe training them to like how to talk. I mean, I know they do that in college, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have media coaches in college, but you would think that they would
Yeah,
kind of do something for these guys in the NFL too. And so I feel the same way about Tua is that he doesn't have those leadership traits that you want in a quarterback, or at least that you're accustomed to seeing.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, like they would probably have the same like speech. Like CJ Stroud just so soft. He's always just like, "Oh yeah, man. Like, come on, yeah, like yeah, man. Like yeah, man. Like let's go out there and play, man. We got this. It's 4 quarters, man. Like, bro, that ain't gonna get nobody pumped. Like, give
Yeah.
me some ferocity, fire.
Well, it's
If you're
just
gonna be a
like
nice
Tua.
guy, be Jameis.
there was that viral video that went out about Tua. He's like 4 hours of pain. Let's go. Like what?
No,
No,
he goes,
dude.
what did he say? He goes, we have 2 hours to play the rest of our lives for 4 hours. Like,
Of
what?
pain. And I'm like, wait, what?
Like,
Pain? What you
what?
talking about? Pain? I'm not trying to be in pain while I'm playing, dog. Like, bro, I'm trying to go knock somebody out, dude.
Put someone else in pain. But yeah, dude, no, that defense is scary. You see the stats on Stingley. He didn't.
Mm-mm.
He had no receptions were allowed for, when they were throwing to him that game.
Damn.
That boy, that boy pitched a shutout.
That boy cold, huh?
Shit.
Where is Stingley at on this right here? Defensive players. There he is. Derek Stingley, number 24. Yep. Derek Stingley did not allow a reception on his only target across 28 covered snaps against the Colts. So they didn't even go his way. He aligned left at cornerback 80% of the snaps this season. And then Kamari Lassiter's played 70% of the snaps at right corner. Shit, even the Bills, he was only targeted twice and 0 catches allowed then, too.
Yeah,
So
I was saying
not
that
bad.
he's if Miles Garrett wasn't having the season that he's having, he would definitely be up there for Defensive Player of the Year.
Dude. And Miles Garrett is having himself a field day, dog. He got another sack this weekend, bro.
Yep. Does he need 4 more? Four
Uh,
more in 6 games,
let's see
in
here.
5 games.
Sacks. So he's at 19 sacks right now. So he needs 3.5 more sacks to tie, 4 more sacks to to win the or to
The title.
to get over the dub. But that's crazy, man. You know, doing his thing. That's for sure. And then interceptions, you got let's see. Stingley's not
For the
up there.
Texans, I believe.
He's
No, it's
14th. But Kevin Byard
is
from
it
the Kevin Byard from the Chicago Bears has 6 interceptions on the season. JC Horn from the Panthers is in second with 5. But then
wow.
you got Nashawn Wright also from the Bears with 5 interceptions. So look at this. The Bears have 3 defensive players in the top 5 for interceptions. Kevin
What
Byard,
the fuck?
Nashawn Wright, and Tremaine Edmonds
Wow. That's why they're winning these games.
are the top 5 have top 5 most interceptions. Isn't that crazy?
Damn. That is crazy. This is the most that has to be the team with the most turnovers.
Wild, bro.
That is
Very
wild.
wild.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, to think so let's talk about that, right? So let's talk about coach of the year because I think that
Okay.
right now Ben Johnson is getting is looking pretty damn good for coach of the year considering where they were at. But then if you have to take a look into account with all the rest of the teams that come in here because you got the Patriots at 10-2, you got the Jags at
Vrabel.
8-4,
Mm.
you got the Bears that are sitting at 9-3, you got the Panthers that
Yeah.
are on the come up. Like we don't know what the season's going to look like for them. But then you got Sean
Yeah,
McVay with the
shoddy though.
Rams. I
Shoddy with the
don't.
Cowboys.
No, he wouldn't win Coach of the Year. I mean, they'd have to pull a miracle out and win out for the rest of the season for it to even be a consideration. But it's still not enough to compete with what the Bears are doing. The
I don't
Bears
know. I'm
sitting at nine
hearing,
and three
hearing
with the
I'm,
way
I'm hearing I'm hearing and seeing his name up there from NFL analysts with their 2 cents.
But for a coach of the year candidate,
Yeah,
they were a
saying you
12
gotta
win
put
team.
Shoddy up there.
They were a 12-win team last season.
I don't know. They say he's just doing something special down there in Dallas with Dak and the boys.
I'm not saying that he's not. I think he definitely is. I just don't think that it's coach of the year worthy. I think when you look at coach of the year candidates, I think it hands down you have to look at what Ben Johnson is doing there with the Bears. I think you have to look at what Sean McVay is doing with the Rams, considering that with Stafford, with his age and they didn't even know if he was going to be able to play with his broken back or whatever it was. You got the Broncos at 10-2, so you got Sean Payton could be a coach of the year candidate, and then like I said, Mike Vrabel with what he did with the Patriots, the way he turned that franchise around in one season.
Yeah, with potential MVP candidate Drake May.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. My pick right now for coach of the year, I'd still have to go Ben Johnson, but I feel like it could be between him or Vrabel, honestly.
I don't know. I don't
What you
know if I
think?
put Ben Johnson yet. I don't know if I put Ben Johnson yet because you're really not hearing a lot of things about the Bears offense. Yeah, they're winning, but you're not hearing about Caleb's not having like this crazy season. He's having a really good season actually because he's protecting the ball. Um, I don't know, man. Like that's close. I probably lean. Oh man, it's tough too. I probably lean more towards Vrabel for going that way.
See, here's why I feel like Chicago would potentially get it more is because the question marks that they had with Caleb Williams, the way that they fired their head coach at towards the end of the season last year. I mean, this team just looked like an utter disappointment. And you and I both didn't even have them making the playoffs, much less, be leading their division right now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And I know we kind of did the same thing um for the Patriots too. We definitely didn't think that they'd be that far along either. But I think the thing that hurts the Patriots more is because when you look at there's a lot of people that are saying that the Patriots record does not show how that team really is, because if you look at their season, they had one of the easiest schedules. They played against the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Steelers, the Panthers, the Saints, the Titans, the Browns, the Falcons, the Jets, a Burrowless Bengals, the Giants. Like those are the teams that they've won. I mean, they lost to the Raiders first week, and then they lost to the Steelers, but their wins are against the Dolphins, the Panthers, the Bills, which was the first litmus test that they had, and they only won by 3 points. Then they played the Saints, the Titans, the Browns, which those are just bye weeks basically. And then you have the Falcons, the Bucks, the Jets, the Bengals, and the Giants. So they really haven't played like a competitive matchup, but they go back up against the Bills after their bye week. So they have a bye week this week. They'll go face the Bills again. Um, and then from there they go visit the Ravens, but then from there they finish off the season against the Jets and the Dolphins. So the Dolphins maybe have a shot at potentially kind of giving them an upset there as well. We'll have to wait and see, but I think against the Bills and the Ravens is when they'll really get a chance to kind of showcase whether or not they're for real.
The Ravens though, really, because the Ravens look terrible as of lately.
They've been up and down. They've been up and down. But as you got to imagine that as the season wanes closer towards the end, for especially for the Ravens, it becomes much more dire need to win those games versus the Patriots. They're leading their division right now, and so you know they'll most likely at that point they could potentially already clinch a spot in the playoffs by then.
They're
We'll have to wait and
first.
see. They're first in the division, and they're tied for
Interesting.
first. They're tied for first in the conference. Hell, they might be. They might be first overall. Who knows? I don't know how they score that up. But you have the Patriots at 10-2, and you have the Broncos at 10-2.
See, the Broncos I got questions about too, though, now.
The Broncos have definitely been a question mark for sure because, I mean, fuck, dude, they almost lost that Commanders game.
Yeah. With Marcus Mariota, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
But you do realize that the Commanders team is a lot better than what their record shows.
They're a very talented team.
They've just had piss poor quarterback play this season with the injuries that's been dealt with them from Jaden Daniels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm. I would, man, I wish the Texans and the Broncos played again. I think the Texans would win this time around.
We'll see. We'll see. Only time will tell.
Man, I hope they get into the playoffs. It's gonna be a rude awakening, I believe. It'll be the first defense to win a championship since the Bears.
Well, I think that about wraps it up, man. Do you have anything else that you wanted to touch on?
No, there is UFC this weekend. It's the last UFC card for 6 weeks, which is probably the longest drought that I can ever recall of not having any UFC. So enjoy this week of the embeddeds.
What about the whole
Because
news about Taporia? What's your take on that whole situation there?
I don't know much. I really haven't dug into it, but all I know is like his wife wants a divorce and she wants to take the kids, and he wants his kids.
So that was
I guess
so
right
that's
now,
confirmed then.
yeah, yeah. So he's trying to fight to. Apparently, she has like one thing on him that ruins his chances of keeping his kids, and he's trying to fight to make sure he gets his kids. So he don't want to. He apparently he don't want to worry about fighting right now because he's fighting for something else,
Right.
bigger. Understandable. I get, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very understandable.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait for UFC. Oh man, I feel like there's been so little fights lately. And I worked so much. I'm glad this one's at a later card because the last UFC's been at like 1 in the afternoon, and I haven't been able to watch them. So,
Well, I can't wait for 2026, dog, because we'll be able to watch them on Paramount.
yeah, and that first card is a banger.
Kind of excited, man. Excuse me. And then I picked up hooked up on a Black Friday special, dog. So I got me a TV for my patio now. Set it up. It's gonna be out there.
Nice.
Watching the fight. Now give me more of a reason to do a crawfish boil next year. Could be out there watching a fight and putting a crawfish boil together, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm excited, bro. I'm ready, dude. We've been like slowly trying to piece up together our back patio and trying to set it all, get it all homey and cozy. So we're looking at like these patio furniture sets and stuff like that to like do like a wicker sectional out there. Our patio is big enough to fit one, so we're hoping that we can pull the trigger on one because we got our eyes on one right now. We just gotta, get through some of these Christmas gifts. You know what I'm saying? But once we can do all that, man, once we can make it through the holidays or whatever, we're probably gonna pick up one of those sectionals and have ourselves like a cool little hangout spot in the back patio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be fun, dude. That's
So
awesome.
I'm pretty excited for that, dude. Invite some people over,
Heck
hang
yeah.
out. You know what I mean? So might even invite you.
Ooh,
Yeah, right, bro. You're
that
always
sounds
welcome over here.
interesting.
Always welcome
Heck
over
yeah.
here, pimp. You ain't even gotta fucking ask. You ain't gotta knock when you come in the door, dog. You just walk right in.
I know the code.
You probably do. Don't say it on here.
Yeah, 6969.
That's
Oh, I'm
funny.
sorry. It's probably 6767 now.
6'7", 6'7". But yeah. Well, all right, my man. Well, I think that about wraps up the show there.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
you
sir.
do anything Wednesday? Oh, that's what we didn't tell the chat, bro. My freaking PC's built.
Oh,
I got the
yeah.
PC
There we
built.
go.
Yeah, chat. So, man, we've been or I've been working on this freaking PC now for probably about a year and a half, and it's been kind of more I've kind of picked up the pace on building this PC now because with the whole podcasting, we haven't been able to go live on TikTok, and that's obviously what we want to aim to do is go live on TikTok, but we're hosting everything through an Apple computer, and Apple kind of struggles to communicate with TikTok, so you can't really do it. Anyway, so fast forward, we're building the PC. We finally got it all done. But now I just need to kind of work out all the rest of the gadgets and gadgets. So, I got to get the desk and probably need to get like a webcam because, the cool thing about the Mac is that I can connect my phone and use my phone as the webcam camera. But I don't think you can do that on a PC through like Windows or whatever. I mean, if you can, I'll figure it out, but probably be looking at doing the webcam, working on getting the gaming room all set up where we're gonna turn it into like a full blown studio. And yeah, man, it's exciting times, dude. Pretty excited. But hey,
That's gonna be
shout
fun.
out shout out to the wife, bro. Shout out to the wife, man, because
Yeah.
you know, like having to get all these parts or whatever, right? And then the last piece was the monitor. I got all the pieces together. The last piece was the monitor. And I didn't want to make it about me with the monitor, but there was a Black Friday special for a monitor, and I was like, man, like if ever there was a good time to get one, it unfortunately is right now. And I know we got to buy gifts for the kids and whatever. So it's like, and then but dude, the wife just immediately she's like, go get it. Like go. And I was just like, for real? And she's like, yeah, I'll go with you. Let's go get it. So I
Ooh.
was like, oh, dude. So, anyways, shout out to the wife, babe. I
Hell
love you.
yeah. Shout out there.
Yeah, man. So it's all complete. The kids love it, dude. They were already using it like gaming and everything like that. They already played a couple games on it. So they're like, oh, dad, this is cool. Like, I was like, all right, sweet, man. Y'all can't
It
play it
looked
though.
crazy, bro.
Yeah, like y'all can't use it though. I'm using it. It's mine. But anyways, man. So yeah, chat. So pretty soon we'll be using the PC to host all of our shows from. And obviously the goal is to get us to go live on TikTok where hopefully we can reach more and more of y'all. And hopefully try to grow the audience, man. Cisco, we appreciate you hanging out, dude. Even though you're not here, we appreciate you watching live, my man, and providing in some feedback and some commentary, brother.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, so we'll see you guys on Wednesday. We'll try to get on right around 9:30. Should be okay. Right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. That sounds good.
Should be good to go. Cisco, I don't know if you'll be back in town or not, but if you are, brother, we'll see you then. If not, then we'll see you Friday. But Cool, man. Well, everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on TikTok, hit us up on YouTube. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is going to be the best way to support everything that we're doing here is through YouTube. So, anyways, thank you guys. Y'all have a good night. God bless, and we'll see y'all later.